level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up. God level, you can tell him I said it. Level up, level up, level up. Yo. Everything, that means everything. Eyes connected to everything. And that's why I'm in everything. All eyes on me, all eyes on everything. That means everything. Eyes connected to everything.
And that's why. Right. Everything. That is. John is our engineer, father of the show. What's up, John? Thank you for that intro. Woo, this is things that people don't want to talk about. Tonight's topic is going to be very interesting. This is a topic that people are actually not ready to hear, to talk about, to even acknowledge. It is called forgiving your parents. Without further ado, this is God Level, originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I am a mother. I am a nurse. I am an aunt. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a Gigi. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a cousin. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I am a father who has 5 hip-hop albums streaming on all major music streaming platforms now. Go ahead and cop that. John Skywalker, look him up. Positive Conscious Hip-Hop. Salute.
Salute. King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Peace, peace, peace. This is King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. And as always, I am that I am of service to the community. Peace, peace, peace.
Come on, Miss Ivy, take your mic off of mute.
Girl, you know I be trying to beat myself because I know I talk a lot.
Mm-hmm. We love it.
Know thyself be true, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Inattentive Ivy Tanner, former broadcast journalist with the military. Inattentive Ivy on TikTok. I got about 46, 50, 11 hamsters up in this joint. And I talk about inattentive ADHD, mental health for us, for our community, and for those that apply. Y'all know I'm here to be an addition instead of a subtraction. And as always, I'm going to try to keep it a buck. Thank you so very much.
That's what's up. AP, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
All right, good evening, everybody. My name is AP. I'm a pharmacy tech of 20 years. I have a director of Sisters Empowerment House where we teach young kids, well, not young, but 10 to 18 years old, social skills. And I'm on all my social media platforms. I think it's Lady AP75. So let's get ready to do this.
Let's go. This is gonna be from last week. We talked about what does good parenting look like to you. I want to thank everyone who chimed in on that show. I want to thank everyone who commented, who shared it. We really appreciate it. This week we want to talk about forgiving your parents, which is something that is not very talked about in our community. And some parents may feel that they do not owe their children an apology. And that's probably due to the way that they was raised because they didn't get an apology from their parents. But we're trying to switch the culture here and look back and say, okay, you know what? I cannot hold you accountable. Is that a good word to use? Or hold it against you that you didn't do right because you didn't know. But now that I know moving forward, let me attempt to do right. Forgive you for not knowing. Get the healing that I need because a lot of us grew up with some trauma.
Raised by unhealed people. Didn't know any better. So broken people raising broken children. And we're trying to fix some of the things that have been put on us. So we've carried, I think we probably are one of the first generations that are carrying that weight of fixing what generations before us have not been able to fix. And I don't think they weren't fixing it because they couldn't, they didn't want to. I don't think that they knew that it was broken.
There it is. They didn't know. They didn't know. Queen Newborn, you look real serious down there. You want to chime in? Oh, mm, I know. Damn. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, first question at the bottom looks like, what is forgiveness?
What
I
is
think it
forgiveness
has.
to you?
Mm, it's
You said
different for everybody.
it
Yeah.
really is. When you have forgave your parents
Oh,
for the
wait, 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 wait. Before we get started, y'all, I do want to put a disclaimer out there because I thought about this before we got
mm-hmm.
on. The information and perspectives in this podcast today is to appeal to a general audience, and it's to provide some guidelines to assist
Right.
the audience members in taking accountability of their own parent-child relationship. The deeper work needs to be done with a mental health professional. Okay, so
Woo!
we're just helping you to get started, give you some things to think about. We're just planting some seeds. If you have been considering it, this is a sign that you should probably go ahead and dive in. All
Yeah.
right. So all we're here to do is just provide you a framework in which you can operate in, just to consider the decision. If you're going to do it, that is a personal commitment, but do not use this podcast as a scapegoat for anything going wrong, because we're just here to provide some general information. All right, let's rock on.
All right.
Forgiveness.
Ivy was on that one. Go ahead, boo.
Listen, I'm just laughing because he's like, look, we just gonna go ahead and put these bars out here, right? And let it be known. Yeah, we just speak from our experience. I think that
Right.
needs to be
Yeah.
told too. Yeah, it's like we just speak from our experience. And anytime that I share anything on here, I'm not trying to give anybody some like like any grandiose advice. I'm just saying that this is what I've done. Maybe
Right.
this is what worked. Maybe this is what has not worked. But I'll tell you, for me, forgiveness, I have realized that forgiveness was something. Oh, forgiveness has had an evolution for me. I think last week I used the same word when when I was talking about parenting too, right? So
Yeah.
forgiveness for me now looks like um, sometimes either forgiving, and I shared this in the group, either forgiving because I want to deepen the connection, or forgiving for my own sanity, right? When I forgive because I want a deeper connection, that means that I'm coming to you and I'm forgiving you from a place of empathy, saying I'm human. I understand what you've been through, and I've been there before, right? So I can recognize that maybe you didn't have the tools to do what you did, and I'm going to put myself in your shoes, and that way we can move forward because we talked about it. Empathy for my sanity, though, is that means I have to forgive you for myself, because otherwise I'm going to ruminate over it, and it's going to take me out of the destiny that I'm supposed to be in. And I have to forgive you and leave you where you are in order to get to the next place that I need to be going. So forgiveness for me means, yeah, holding myself to the fire, holding other people to the fire, but either forgiving because I want to deepen the connection, or forgiving because I need to let you go. There we
Oh.
go.
Mm.
I think forgiving for me is yeah, I'm with you on the evolution. It's definitely been some changes, some ups and downs, but my forgiveness is usually to wholeheartedly let go, because I don't want to keep hashing up things. And there are some things that still in this big old age that I'm at that I have not forgiven, and it's a lot less, because the younger you are, the less empathy that you have, so you don't understand why things went the way they were. But it's exactly that understanding. Once you understand what a person was going through at the time that you felt that you were done wrong, then it allows you to forgive. Once you understand that my parents were young and didn't have much sense, and once you compare the sense that you had, if you were 16 or 17 and had a child, or 16 or 17, once you see your mind frame and realize that they weren't capable of, they were still trying to raise themselves, then you start to forgive. But you have to kind of put yourself in their shoes. And a lot of times you don't want to put yourself in those shoes because you're hurt so bad that you want to be able to blame somebody. And I think blaming somebody makes it a whole lot is way easier than forgiving.
Blame game. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
Ooh.
forgiveness is not blaming. It's not
Ooh.
shaming.
correct.
Ooh.
Do we associate forgiveness with love?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do.
we can agree with that. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So it's the loving thing to do.
And
Yes.
The
allows you to
loving thing
love
to
people where they're at
Mm,
when you forgive them. Like
mm,
Ivy was saying, I can either let you go or move on, but
Mm-hmm.
I can love you where you're at because I've forgiven
Mm-hmm.
what you've
mm.
done.
forgiveness
King,
is an act of self care. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There you go.
King, what is
Ooh.
forgiveness?
Definitely
Mm.
self care.
Mm. I'm loving it.
What is forgiveness, King?
Oh, forgiveness. What is forgiveness?
To you,
That was the question. That was the
to
question.
you.
To you.
For me, forgiveness is seeing my wrongdoing in whatever situation it was. So accountability, self-reflect, because most of the times you're not really taking in account. Well, what did I do to either put myself in this situation, or what
Hmm.
did I do to even cause this situation?
Mm.
It's hard for me to penalize someone for not knowing that they are doing wrong. So why would I forgive them for not knowing?
That's
Okay.
the adult you was talking, but what about the child you that doesn't know that? What if you talk to your 16-year-old self or your
If I was talking to
12-year-old
my
Ooh.
16-year-old self, if I was talking to my 16-year-old self, I'm still going to forgive me first and foremost, because as a 16-year-old self, I'm not even taking in the concept of what it's like to be an adult. I'm looking at it from a 16-year-old point of
point of
view.
view? Right.
That was fire. Where
I
your
couldn't
All
get
boys
right.
I couldn't
at? Where
triple
your boys at?
I
Throw the
was
bars up. Throw the bars up,
okay.
Tanner. Thank you.
I,
Bars.
I knew he was
That was
gonna get it.
bars. You know, come on now. He quick on his feet, baby. Look at the
Right,
toes. Quit
right.
playing. Quick on his
Well,
feet.
let's go ahead and throw this out there then. At 16, did we really have the capacity to understand what forgiveness was about?
He
Uh,
knew. Wait.
Oh, no, no,
Um.
we're not
Okay.
going there.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
not
Cause
yet,
you
not yet, not yet, not
not
yet.
yet. Not
I
yet.
just I want us to make sure that we are all talking about the same thing. Okay. So
Right.
this is why because hey, people get it wrong. People get it wrong.
Mm.
So we want to also cover and I'll throw that question up shortly. But to John, uh, forgiveness is an intentional and voluntary process of letting go resentment, anger, uh, retribution towards anyone that caused any perceived harm, real or imagined. Um,
Mm.
and this is irregardless of whether they deserve it or whether they've apologized or not. Um, Forgiveness is about moving past or transcending negative emotions, uh, releasing the desire for revenge. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm.
but I would ultimately summarize it as one of the pathways to healing a relationship.
And could that relationship be with yourself and not the other person?
Boom! There you go. Yep, yep.
Wait,
It's
wait.
any relationship. It's any relationship. Let's be clear. It could be your relationship with your food. It could be a relationship with your house. It could be a relationship you have
Bars,
with nature. It's
bars,
forgiveness is forgiveness. It
Right.
is the
bars.
process of letting go, detaching. But there's several pathways to this, but we're just focusing on forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's several pathways to mend a relationship, but forgiveness is about, letting go, moving on, transcending. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna stay here stagnant. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep it flowing. I'm gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's throw this in there. Forgiveness is not always intentional either.
You don't think so?
It's not always intentional. Sometimes it can just happen, just because of the fact that you've processed a few things, like, and then one day you just come to the idea, like, oh man, I think I'm finally over such and such and such and such. Like this is a step of forgiveness. Like you might have wanted to forgive, but like sometimes it happens in such stages that you just arrive there, and you're like, or some I think that that's the most important thing when it comes to forgiving yourself. Like sometimes you just arrive there at the place of I have finally forgiven myself for X, Y, and Z. So
Is
yeah,
that forgiveness or is that just becoming
right.
content with the situation?
Could be either one, but I think I think they're kind of
It could be
one and the same.
okay.
Oh, and somebody said I disagree. Give it to me. Bam!
I
Come on,
think
let's
I
go.
think I
All
think
right. Well,
oh, go ahead, Skywalker.
I was gonna say, well, since we're still caught up, and this is where I wanted us to be, we're still trying to figure this out, right? So let's post that question. What are some things that people get wrong about forgiveness, so that we
I,
can still know what it is? Let's
I
figure out
wanted
what it
to
ain't.
add.
Go ahead, Renee. Go ahead.
I
I'm sorry.
wanted to
God level.
add to forgiveness is letting go that badge of honor, that pain. You know how we wear our pain like a badge of honor, letting that go, dropping it, just releasing it.
As a shield, more of sometimes we hold it as a shield to try to block
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
others from getting to
Ego.
that point again. There you
Mm-hmm.
go. That's a
Defense.
lot. I mean, we talk about that a
Defense
lot. Ego
mechanism.
is a powerful,
We
powerful
do.
thing.
Yeah. Defense
What is
mechanism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what are some
Definitely.
things that people get wrong about forgiveness?
Mm-hmm.
That you're letting them off the
Now that
hook
was actually a
and nothing's
question in
gonna
the
happen
group,
to them. Go
but I
ahead.
want the panel to answer first, and then I'll read some of the replies from the group.
Okay.
Unless y'all want me to do that first.
Go ahead and read some
Yeah,
of the replies.
let's read the replies.
Okay, let me
And
pull that
thank
up
you
real
to
quick.
everyone who dropped a comment, who answered that question. We really appreciate it.
Let's see. That's
Yeah.
feeling. Wait. Let's see. Okay. Wait. Some of these are pretty long. One of them is that they don't have to. That's one thing that people get wrong. That they don't have to. Let's see. You haven't fully forgiven someone if you continue to reference the wrongdoing. Forgiveness is an intentional decision to let go of resentment and anger. Uh, Another thing that people get wrong is that they're always forgiven. Ooh,
Oh,
shoot.
that's
uh,
on the end.
Another replied, just because you forgive does not mean that things go back to how things were before the forgiveness.
Yes.
Um, Always forgiven is another misconception, but access is denied. That it means access. Forgiveness doesn't mean access. Uh, Ivy, you said there's a difference between forgiving with empathy, and forgiving with sanity. Everything that you were saying in the beginning.
Yep.
Mike Lee replied. He said, "Forgiveness is not for the forgiver." That's one thing that people get it wrong. Forgiveness is not for the forgiver. Not, yeah, you forgiving someone releases the built up energy that may be blocking your blessing. We all have been in situations that we couldn't let go of. Think about the bandwidth, mental space, and growth that situation stops you from reaching because you're
Come on.
allowing it, right?
Come on.
Holding on to that pain, baby, and walking around
Let's
with it like a
see.
badge of honor.
Yes, sir. Like
All
Erica
right, here's
Badu
another
said,
one.
bag lady.
Another one from Sarai. She said, if you're not willing to forget, then are you really granting someone forgiveness? I'm guilty of not forgiving people. Um Devontae said, thinking I forgot when I only forgave. Thinking I forgot when I only forgave. That's
Ooh,
They
different.
said forgive but never
I,
forget. I've heard that quote before.
I got
Oh,
something for that one. Keep going though.
last one. Raphael said, the biggest misconception is that it is a one-time decision. You may have to take the same decision daily. So it's a commitment. It's a
Yeah.
commitment. And some days may be easier than others, even more so.
Yeah.
Some days you might not make that decision. Monday, I forgive you. Tuesday, it hurts a little more, but I still forgive you. Wednesday, I'm pissed, so no, I don't forgive you. Thursday, prayed last night. God healed my pain, so I forgive you again.
That is so
Oh
true
man.
because especially if you still in the relationship or in the situation with a person, that's definitely a
Mm,
commitment because I think that everyone is guilty of forgiving one time. Oh, I forgive you. And then y'all have that same argument over and over and over again because you did not commit to that forgiveness. So I could see, I
mm,
definitely agree with that one.
It's a
Can
commitment.
I would like to just interject on that as the woman with her hamsters on the panel, right? On the panel. I had shared this a while ago. Me and the way that I was raised, I believe that you had to forgive, forget, and move on, right? But with the way that my ADHD works, I realized that my forgiving and forgetting would sometimes make me think that I had to give access to people who were capable of
Mm.
just shit, right? And because of the fact that I forgave and forgot, I did not remember that this person had the capacity to do the shit that they were doing. You understand what I'm saying? So because of the fact that I forgot, I realize now at the tender age of 47 that I have to forgive, but don't forget what this person is capable of, and just remove access or either limit my access because of the fact that I know that this person can still do stuff that can
Boundaries.
hurt me.
Boundaries.
Come on, man. Come on. Yes. And removing access or even giving limited access. That part.
You have to
You know,
build boundaries. You definitely have to have some type of boundaries whenever, and you have to not only have boundaries with that person, but you need to have boundaries with yourself, because how did I allow this to happen? Because sometimes we have to take responsibility for some of these situations that we put ourselves in.
Mm-hmm.
it's called accountability. Whatever what are brothers always saying? Accountability.
That part.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look, I'm gonna throw that up for myself. Bars.
That
And
is
for our
messed
brothers, because
up.
they're always talking about accountability.
So you have to keep it in the back of your mind. That's not. I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. Is Dr. Brennis? Go ahead and give us a call.
Yeah.
It's posted. We would love to actually hear you. What's the number? We got it posted. 832.
That part, see,
Look again.
Covered up.
Yeah, it is covered up. 832
We'll do that.
four
We'll do
there
seven
it
that.
goes.
nine 9035. Go ahead and give us a call. I would
Man.
love it. Yeah.
And I
Because
agree with
spirits
Crystal.
is on
Crystal said you
fire.
can. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. But Crystal said you can bite once, you can bite twice. And it's not saying that somebody is not forgiven. It's just I need that reminder that this person is capable of doing something that can hurt me, right? And yes, we are not perfect.
Mm,
Also, I think forgiveness is realizing that a person is not an object and realizing that they are human, and
yeah.
accepting that if you know that you want somebody to accept your bullshit, you got to accept other people's bullshit too.
Ooh.
That part,
So
because
are we talking about just knowing what and how to forgive, or are we talking about
Man.
knowing what to forgive and who to forgive when it comes to parenting? I just
Ooh.
want to make sure I
Yeah.
stay on topic here.
He put
Yes.
the
That's all.
he put the question down. John put the question down there. Uh, is it harder to forgive parents than
Than
other
other
people?
people.
This question is significant because your parents are very unique in this regard. You know, it's one thing to forgive a friend, it's one thing to forgive your children, but your parents compared to your other family members, don't they hold like a certain weight compared to others? Expectation.
absolutely,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
they were formative in shaping your life.
right.
You
And it's
know,
definitely harder to forgive the superheroes that you did not realize were people.
Woo!
Once you realize that Superman is actually
Ooh.
Clark Kent,
Oh.
Oh.
it makes a
Oh.
difference. And I'm just gonna
Oh.
go from my own
Damn.
personal experience, that the things that I'm going through and the things that I have been going through for the past few years is, I just realized that my parents were people.
Mm.
You know,
Yep.
we put these expectations up here
Mm.
because these are your
Yeah.
first superheroes. These are the people that
Ooh.
make things happen, that magic. We didn't know where the toilet paper came from, but it showed up. We didn't know how the meals got here, but they on the table. You know, mom and daddy was kind of magic. And especially, well, I'll say my mama was magic to me. But some of the things that she did in life outside of providing, I didn't understand, because you got everything else right, but you didn't get this part right.
Woo.
So we looking
mm,
for perfection in these people, and we don't realize that they are people.
I'd like to interject. Of
Okay.
course I would, because I talk a whole bunch, right?
Go, girl, go ahead. Go ahead.
So my mode of operating, right, is that I can forgive you for being real human because I'm really human and I have messed up a lot in my life, right? The difference for me is that when someone is capable of being accountable, just capable, you know what I'm saying? With one parent, I had one parent who was really capable of being accountable. It was like, I know I made mistakes, but I did the best that I could, and I loved y'all. And that's, I can rock with that. But for me, and I had a parent that was not taking accountability, that's what the hard part was. You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody, and yeah, you got your friends who can't take accountability. I'm just like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Do you, blah, 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 blah. It's hard when your parent can't take accountability and like they shaped you. For me, it's been like, that was the hard part. But I have learned through that some people are not necessarily ready for that, because that takes a deep dive, and looking at the stuff that you could do to hurt a whole human being, that can be hard. So not everybody is ready to move the way that you are, and that includes my parents. You know, yeah, yeah, and I'm very, very comfortable with saying that I know that my parents are human and very, very flawed, because I am very, very flawed, and I hope that my kids extend me to. I'm sorry now.
How long did it take you to get to that point?
47 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm just now getting to that point in my life within the last 5 or 6 years. So
Yeah.
all that resentment, and my mom passed when I was 30, but all that resentment for these past 20 whatever amount of years, I'm
We like
just
you.
now getting to the point where I can understand that she was not Wonder Woman. She was not this superhero, and I do regret that I wasn't able to express that to her.
Ooh.
So there
Yeah.
are some regrets on my end. So that goes to what King was saying. I have to forgive myself every day for holding her accountable, and or hold her to a standard that's not a realistic standard. So yeah, I have to forgive myself as well as forgiving some of the things that I felt like that she had done or didn't do.
Ooh. Ooh. Dr. Brennis. But do you think she felt it?
Mm.
Oh, definitely. I think that she felt it, but I think at that immature age that I was, an immature mind, I didn't. I wanted to see her have the same pain that I felt like that she inflicted on me.
Yep.
So I would constantly drill it and beat it and constantly hurt her feelings in return for the way I felt like she made me feel.
Go
Hurt
back to
people,
that
hurt people.
part.
Yeah.
Go back to that part about the pain.
Okay.
Why use that pain? What's the pain supposed to do?
Mm.
At that age, not in my grown mature age, but when you're young, you feel like if I hurt you, it's gonna make me feel better because you feel, I want you to feel the same thing that I felt. And what I didn't realize is she probably did and probably felt it worse than I thought, because I was a mother. Do you hear me? So I know that she probably felt that and felt it worse than I could have ever imagined, but it wasn't to what I wanted her to feel, because things were so devastating in my life. I felt like, how I would say this, some things that happened in my life crushed me, and I wanted to see her crushed too.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this gonna make me cry, y'all.
Yeah.
But I wanted
That
to
was a
tease
deep
out.
question.
I wanted to
That was
tease
deep.
out that mechanism because there's something to the process of first an offense, the transgression. That is a process, right? Just like forgiveness is a process. So I want to just like get those underlying mechanisms teased out, right? What is happening? I experienced this event with this person that I care about. I felt a certain way. That's my response, my reaction. And I'm holding on to that. I'm holding on. It's done. It's gone. But I'm holding on to this feeling, that energy, those memories. and I'm thrusting them at the person. That's my reaction. Hey, you did this. You did this. You did. That's all we know. It's stupefying. It's very stupefying. But we think in the experience, we think we're being rational. We think we're
Right.
being rational. That's the crazy part. But we're hurt. And it's hard to see that, right? It's hard to
It's
see beyond the hurt.
it's because people do not use feelings to actually realize that feelings are meant to be informative of what is going on. Like you feel your feelings and you're supposed like it's telling you that you need to take an action within yourself. I just learned that.
Mm,
If,
mhm,
if if I'm angry, I need to use that anger to motivate me in a way that's either going to keep me safe, keep my kids safe, that's going to do something in the community. Like it's informing me that this is where my stuff lies, right? If I'm sad, that's a feeling that's telling me that this is what I need to do with myself. My feelings inform me. And before I thought that my feelings all had to be
mhm,
external. Like I had to show up every feeling externally. But now I'm realizing that my feelings are actually informative of how I feel and what I need to do about it. That takes the impetus off of other people to do something about it. You understand what I'm saying? Like you think that somebody is supposed to do something for you because you're angry or
Right.
because you're sad. But the
Mm.
thing is that that's within us. That is
mhm.
what, oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
He is hitting hard, isn't he, Doctor
Yeah.
Brennis?
That's my baby right there.
That's love. I need for you to call in, sir. 832-479-9035.
Man.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
Judy right there. That I love
Call
her so much.
in.
Can I share
Mhm.
something? Something, can I be vulnerable for a second?
Go right ahead,
So
honey.
I knew that we were getting ready to talk about forgiving your parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think before I've talked about I had a contemptuous relationship with my dad, right? And I've been stewing over this joint for like the last week. I kid you guys not, because there was things that I felt that needed to be said, but I understand that I have to accept that he is who he is. But I couldn't get past the acceptance because I still had all of this stuff that I was harboring that needed to be said, and I was scared to say them because I was afraid that he was going to yell at me, or he was going to belittle me, or he was just going to shrink me and make me small. And I don't, something, I put that in the universe. I asked for God, spirit, higher power to do whatever with that. And I kid you not, yesterday my father called me
Yeah.
yesterday, and I got a chance to finally get all of this stuff, all of the resentments off of me. And to tell him, like, hey, I've been feeling this way, and this way about our relationship. That freed me up so much, y'all. And it freed me
Man.
because I accept who he is. He didn't have to say anything validating, and he didn't even agree with me. That's fine. I'm realizing now that the forgiveness part for me came from accepting that he is going to be who he is, but I still need to honor myself and say
Yeah.
that this is what has happened for me. And I just wanted to share that because, y'all, I knew that this was coming up, and it has been heavy on my heart, y'all. And I thank this podcast for giving me the opportunity to put that into the universe and to actually move that energy, because whoo, right there, I feel free today.
Yeah, yeah.
Free. Giving
I
back
think
that
I
which
think
was
she
lost.
just answered. I think I just answered the question. Does forgiveness have a feeling and
King
freedom?
Newborn is ready.
Oh, go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm gonna put myself on mute.
When he said, go ahead,
Oh, I
King
can hear
Newborn.
it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say, shout out to all the badass kids in the world that thought they was perfect as children.
There you go.
Shout out to every last one of you because it ain't easy
Woo!
raising a child that think they know everything from the gate.
Mm,
Shout out to
mm.
them. So as much as we wanted to say that we looking for our parents to be forgiving for them trying to raise us, I'm still gonna go back to, let's sit back and think about some of the stuff that we did that our parents don't know, that we think they don't know, or
Right.
we think they don't didn't understand what we was doing. You can't. I'm just saying for me. Let me speak for me. I'm sorry. Let me speak for me. When you look back on when you was a child versus an adult now, if you were to govern the child version of you, you'd probably be doing the same. You'd probably be doing some of the same things your parents was doing. Because the
Yeah.
only person that know who you was as a child is you. Some of the times, the way that you act out, you did certain things that had nothing to do with your parents.
Mhm.
So you can't just lay it all at their doorstep like they would just. Hey, if you
Baby.
here right now, if you here right now, man, shout out to the parents that made sure you at least got to this point. However they governed you. Ain't nobody doing it right. The child ain't doing it right. The parent ain't doing it right. So let's quit pointing fingers and you know what I'm saying? We talking about parenting. Hey, it's cipher. Cipher. It's all about love. It's all about love. Take the time out to see what was you doing as a child to make mom, dad act out or dad not beat or what was you doing? There's nobody, ain't nobody. No adult now. If you look on the child version of you, you was
No, I
nah,
already know that. I was
Me too.
horrible.
nah.
I was ADHD and I had no idea, so I know I was a trip. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
So again, we all individuals. As I heard earlier, we say we're human. So if we human,
right.
when you was a child, you was a human too.
Right.
So if you point the finger and say so and so they beat me because of blah blah blah. Okay, do you remember that word that did you remember how you talked to him or her? You remember how you because you was outside and they asked you 7 times, seven, not the first time, but 7 times, get your ass in the house. And you ain't come in. You still want to do it your way, how you want to do it. Matter of fact, we got some little kids around here. We'll swear up and down at the ages of 1, 2, and 3. They've been here before. Why is that? Oh, look the way they acted. They know too much. They this, they that. But we ain't tripping off the fact that if you look back on you when you was a kid, you was off the chain. I ain't saying everybody was acting unruly, but man, let's not just lay it at the feet of the parents. We did some stuff, and everybody know you know, the only person that know your secrets is you.
If
The
I
only
hit,
person that know the stuff that you got away with is you. And again, Miss Tanner, we can't fault parents for not knowing or understanding ADHD. We
absolutely.
can't really penalize them for that. And in some cases, you know, if you go from a biblical standpoint, and trust and believe, I'm not trying to throw this out there, but I'm just saying, if you spur the rod and spoil the child, but ain't nobody took time out to read what was before that passage and after that passage. But I'm just saying, we stuck to that part right there. If you spur the rod,
Mhm.
you spoil the child. So I mean, it's a lot of variables there. I mean, I'm the odd man out, and I'm just trying to say, let's really understand what we asking for forgiveness for. Are we asking for forgiveness for our unruliness? Are we asking for forgiveness of them trying to chastise us to make sure we didn't go outside this door and end up being killed or taken by the hands of somebody else? You gotta. It's a lot. The same things that run through your mind about the safety and the well-being of your children as you being a parent and an adult now, it's the same thing that your parents was going through. And if they only know a set segue to how to govern you, to be a mentor to you, to make sure you had a set of rules, regulations, and guidelines, whether they was educated or not, or they was street savvy, how can you you can't penalize them for that?
You are correct. You are
I,
correct. And if I could, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think where I come in on the penalizing is that not necessarily of you of how things went or how I got in trouble or how I'm more of how she governed off of emotions because
Mm.
she was not mentally healthy and this was known. Some of the things
Right.
were reflected on us and more me. So I'm not. I know. I got some ass whoopings, and I deserve it. I ain't never said I did not deserve to get my ass beat. Everybody whooped my ass. So I know that I was a bad child and was always doing stuff, but I also held her accountable because I feel like that her mental health was not where it's supposed to be. And I think it's a lot of parents that at that time whose mental health was not where it's supposed to be. They were not mentally healthy people. And I can understand that you want to go hard and say that we should have got our ass whooped and we should have got this and we should have got that. But sometimes some of the things that you say to your children affect your children, and some of the things, the treatment. I accept those ass whoopers because they what
The
she wasn't.
shame.
Yeah, she wasn't just beating my ass just to be doing that. Now I'll never say that she did that, but I will say that she did not. I don't think she knew how to. I don't think she liked herself that much. So therefore, she couldn't teach me some of the things that I needed to know. I know
just want to.
I know all the stuff that she went through, but go ahead.
No, I just want to interject this because y'all know I'm very transparent about the fact that I had to go away because I had some things, right?
Mhm.
When I went in that place and when I went to inpatient therapy, they told me, they said, hey, listen, they were like, you could blame your parents for the way that they raised you. And guess what? They had from 1 to 18 to do what they needed to do to raise you, to give you your values, everything else. However, from 18 till then, everything else about how you move in the world is on you. It is on you to heal from the life circumstances that you got. You know, it's up to you to heal. So make sure that you don't hurt anymore. And they also said, and this is what's important, they loved you with the tools that they had. I definitely understand that my mom and my dad both loved me with the tools that they had, right? And they put roofs over my head, and I know I got kids. I got two of them that are young adults. I got one that's younger, and I understand that I even parented them from what I knew, and I did some things to hurt them too, to give them trauma because I wasn't right? And like we said last week, man, these kids, these little screaming, yelling, they don't come with an instruction book. So you know that you love your kids and you do the best with the tools that you have at the time. I know that my parents did the best with the tools that they had at the time, and that was a lot. However, this is something else that they also told me. They said that if you didn't have the tools back then, and if they hurt you, they were responsible for hurting you. It's just like if I hurt your feelings, John, or if I hurt your feelings, Aaron, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't have the tools to recognize what it is that I'm doing, but once you do recognize what you are doing, take accountability for it. You know what I'm saying? And if I choose not to, I can be like, I'm not going to take accountability, and then you're gonna do what you got to do, right? You're gonna come. Oh, you're going to be like, okay, well, I might need to limit my time or how much time I give this person. And I cannot blame my parents. I cannot. I can say things that they did hurt me. And because I didn't have the tools to nurture myself, and I didn't get the tools until later on in life to nurture myself, I didn't know how to forgive. So I held on to what I had at the time. It's both ways. I just wanted to throw that out there for anybody.
Does forgiveness have a feeling? Does forgiveness have a feeling? What is it?
Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom. What else?
Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Like a release.
A release of
Release.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
like you take that deep breath in and just let it go.
Okay.
And once you release that, I think you start to be able to learn happiness.
Mm.
And it just depends.
Okay.
I think it depends on everybody's stage in life. Some people learn early how to work this thing called forgiveness, and some people get to the point of getting towards my age and working this thing called forgiveness. You know, I think it just really depends on the person, and it depends on, do you know that you are broken? I didn't know I was broken until I
Mm.
started to fix myself. So that
Mm.
that that right there becomes the big thing of it all, on how this forgiveness thing is going to work and when it's going to happen. Because I can
Come
say
on,
all day
man.
long, John, I forgive you for whatever, what have you, and then we be in the same argument the next day.
The relevance of this question. All right. Well, one more follow up. would you essentially agree that the feeling or feelings associated with forgiveness is good? Are there any bad feelings that comes with forgiveness?
I think feelings are not necessarily bad or good. They're
No.
just feelings.
I think
You
Feelings
say,
inform
disappointment
you.
comes first.
yeah, it's a
You have to
release. It's
realize
you.
that those people that they are not superheroes.
Yeah, and you may even cry.
Yeah,
That's still a release.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So general consensus is
I think it's a
There's no
release
no no.
for you.
There's no negative feelings connected
okay.
with
All right. So
forgiveness.
we're talking about a motive here, all right? Because there
Mm-hmm.
is an experience on the other side of forgiveness. And I
Mm.
really want us to look at this for what it is. There is a process here, and the process ends off with a reward at the very end of it. And so it begs the question, why wouldn't you want to be involved in something like that? Why wouldn't you lean in towards forgiveness if it was going to yield a good fruit? What is it about forgiveness that's scary?
It's fear.
No, like
No,
what
that's
about
no.
it
She's
though?
right. How long does forgiveness take?
Hell, a lifetime for
I got
sure.
something that'll cook your noodle.
Uh-oh.
Shout out to God level. You just said how long does forgiveness
Forgiveness,
takes?
because I can
Right.
tell you when the day it started for me with my mother, and
So
then
I
over
wanna
the go ahead.
no. Finish that. I'm sorry. I was interjecting.
The day that it started, I wouldn't say the day that she called me into her room to lay down with her, to hold my hand when I knew that she was on her way out. I wouldn't say that I forgave her or the forgiveness was there, but that was the day that it started. And then
Mm.
over the years up until now, I can say, you know what, I let that go. When you look back at a complete picture and realize she was a child raising a child, she didn't know no better.
Mm.
You
Mm.
know, she grew up without a father. My father passed. Both chasing love,
Mm.
you know, not getting what she needed from home, you know, hanging around a whole bunch of male cousins that was in her ear. She didn't know no better.
Hmm.
So, you know, I don't hold it. Go ahead.
So again, why do we fear forgiveness? What are we afraid of when it comes to
You
forgiveness?
you
Because you
know
might
how
have been
God love.
wrong. Go
Huh,
ahead.
huh?
I said you might have been wrong.
Okay, afraid of being wrong? Okay.
Yeah, you may have been wrong all these
Okay.
You,
years.
I
Go ahead.
want to say,
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Where my
Answer.
bottle of liquor at? I'm gonna take a shot to that.
you know how God, I
Hey.
got, and I think it
I
was
got one
Newborn.
too now. Don't make me
So
pull it out.
I think the both of them both said, you know how some people they wear their pain as a badge.
Okay.
If you forgive, that means that you don't have that identity to tap into anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That means you can't wear that anger anymore. That means
Mhm.
that you lose a part of your identity. And some people are not ready to do
Mm.
that. They're not ready to
Because
confront
they've
who they
carried, they've
are.
walked
Anger.
with it for so long. It is
Yeah.
They're
second nature to them.
Yeah. You
They
That
got to
is their
carry
carry
it.
it.
identity.
ready.
Woo, that's
Man,
their
Not
identity.
ready. Yes, they're
I'm
not
the
ready to
angry
face that.
person.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yes.
what happiness. I'm the angry person. She
Come
did this
on,
and she
man.
did
Hey,
that and
I'm that
they did
hardcore bitch
this.
that ain't nobody gonna fuck with as long as I don't forgive you.
Oh,
And that's
That
my
part.
shield. That's my
Mm,
shield. That's how I protect myself. And that's one of
mm,
the most scariest things that
Come
I've
on.
even had going through this process is because I have to drop that shit. I can't be the one to swing first. And
woo.
I've been the
Man.
first. So it's like I gotta drop this shield. And when you forgive, it's like when you start to really forgive, you wholeheartedly forgive it, like everybody, and you go on this forgiveness like journey. Now I don't have the protect. Now I don't even know how to protect myself anymore because I'm not this hardcore tough person that I was. Now I just smile and okay, you know, it's some stuff that I look at myself today and I be like, I could have hit that bitch in that motherfucker. and don't have no problem thinking it out, but it's definitely you when you say your identity, I'm not that tough person that I was.
Let's go a step further. Some people are addicted to that pain.
Yeah. Oh
Not just
wow.
they wake up in the morning and it's almost like Wheaties in a bowl. You know what I'm saying? They
They
have
have
to
to
eat
remind
that.
themselves.
Yes, and they have to do
They
it over and
remind them
over
every
again
day. They got to
because
ruminate over it over every day.
it is
Yeah.
contributing. It is contributing
To their
to
current
whatever hit it is
identity.
to that dopamine.
Yeah.
They have to wear their anger because this is the way that they get X, Y, and Z done. They can't forgive because this is the way that they move through life. They have to have that anger because it pays money in dividends. You know what I'm saying? So if they forgive and they don't get that shot of dopamine that they get from being angry, then what's going to happen? Oh, I'm going to lose all my money. Or like we said, like you get your identity from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so
Your
many reasons
current
why.
identity.
Yeah.
Your
I could
current
see that. I could
identity.
see being addicted to that
Yeah. That pain.
and having
Not wanting
the
to let go.
Ego death.
Mm. I'm
oh
a,
wow, yeah.
Throw it up.
Ego
Throw it
death.
up. Throw it
Yep.
up.
Yep.
Ivy.
Liberation.
Bars.
Liberation, right? So
Mm.
let's address this next question because we got to keep it going. We still got to unravel the actual process of forgiveness. Is it necessary to set a goal in your pursuit to forgive your parents? Do you need to mark a goal,
No.
or do you just need to?
You just need to naturally allow it to happen. Like it took a long time for me to get to this point. Years. Even when we did the podcast 2 years ago talking about whoopings, when I versus beatings, when I knew that we were getting ready to talk about that, I was rushed like with so many memories of getting my ass toe up. Like, what the fuck was she thinking? Like it just hit me all at once, and then I like slowly certain things come up, certain topics that we talk about bring up certain things, you forgive and you let go. You forgive.
All right.
Man,
So
I think it's more
here's
realistic to
but
have
here,
set a
but here's
goal.
my
Don't set, yeah.
but
Yeah.
still there is a sense of intentionality that comes with that. You're still doing the work. So I say goal, I say that because the question is, how do you know that you arrived?
more.
Did we not say this is a process? We
Right.
agreed
It
this
is a
was a process.
process.
How do you know when you're finished? How do you know when you're finished?
I like to answer that. My opinion. My opinion from experience and just recently. You can always be in a position to ask for forgiveness. But once you learn the actual concept to forgive, you shouldn't have to keep on forgiving human beings based off of everything that's been said tonight. If you look at it from just saying this is either entertainment, educational experience, if you look at it from that standpoint, you're basically saying that true enough, I've changed, I've evolved, I've become a person that can say I forgive you. This is where I say, well, um, understand the laws and principles of particular things. And you look at somebody, they did something that's wrong to you, and even without them even saying please forgive me, you already made up in your mind the way they acted out was because they're ignorant, they don't know you, they heard, like, you run through all these different scenarios and possibilities of their condition to the point you're able to stand in front of them and say, no harm, no foul, all peace, and keep it moving, to where you ain't even got to carry that scenario to the next opportunity of you living life. You're able to let that go right then and there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We're talking about doing it quicker. Yeah. It's more
Okay.
efficient. Yeah.
Yeah. But I still
Okay.
respect the fact of saying that it's a process. But I'm
Mhm.
saying once you arrive, and
Mhm.
this is what John was asking, once you arrive to the point of understanding the process, and you get to that point, you be like, oh, okay, this is what forgiveness look like. You ain't got to keep doing that over and over and over.
That comes with self-awareness, lots of
Ooh.
self-awareness.
Say that.
And
And then
listen,
it still spans off of accountability too. Because at this particular point, if I know what it's like to forgive a person and keep it moving, I know how not to put myself in the position where I got to keep asking for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
say that again. Run that back. Run that back. Let me just.
Prevention. We're talking about prevention. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
prevention. But
Okay.
let's stay with the
Go ahead.
forgiveness
I'm
though.
sorry.
Because we still got to get into the let's stay with it now. Let's stay with it. So
Oh,
again, question: yes or no? Should we have a goal when it comes to forgiving? Does there need to be a goal? Someone said no.
I did.
Okay.
I don't think that's realistic, but
I'm gonna say maybe.
Okay. She says maybe.
I'm gonna say maybe.
Okay.
King?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, it's a goal.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
And Aaron, you said
unrealistic. I just think that that's unrealistic. What does that look like? Because maybe I'm not seeing it.
well, so that's the okay. So
I'm saying it's unrealistic to me to say tomorrow I'm gonna forgive, or in 3 months I'm gonna have everybody forgiven in my life.
Setting a goal, of course, you have to be realistic when you're setting a goal. You can't be unrealistic because now you're still operating in the same atmosphere that the problem was created in. So you have to be realistic now, right? And you have to set a realistic goal. So what I'm saying in terms of what it might look like, again, this is to respond to that question of how do you know when you arrive? So for you, you have to imagine what's on the other side of forgiveness. What does that probably feel like? If I say it's going to feel like relief, okay. When I feel that relief, I think I forgave, right? Or forgiveness looks like me being able to talk to them again and not feel that burning sensation or that tightening tension. That's forgiveness for me. So it's about painting or forecasting the reality you seek. This relationship is damaged and you're trying to repair that. Even the one with yourself, right? You said earlier, Aaron, it could be the relationship with yourself. So what does forgiveness of myself look like? What do I want?
Come on.
I want to feel, I want to smile again when I'm around this person, or I just want to be able to smile again with them or not. I just want to be able to smile again because I ain't been smiling, so that's why I say, is it necessary? Do you feel like you can just do it blindly? Hey, I don't know when I get there.
I would like to interject.
Okay.
Because remember I just said that I just talked to my dad yesterday, right? And this entire time going on my healing journey, I realized that I was going to have to get past my resentments and forgive. My goal was, can I be safe? My goal with my dad wasn't to do anything. What didn't have anything to do with who he was. It had to do all about the goal that I set for myself. I needed to be able to feel safe within myself. So I told myself I need to be able to say what I can say and boundary myself and be able to hold myself accountable for how it is that I move in the world. And my accountability and my goal was speak my truth. That was my goal. Once I spoke my truth, I could accept, because before I wanted him to change into something that he wasn't, that he was never going to be. I wanted to try to hold him to a standard that I just knew that he just didn't have the capability of handling. He doesn't have it, right? And it caused me more pain. In DBT, they tell you that if you do not accept, it causes us undue harm. If you do not accept, it doesn't say that you agree with whatever it is that's going on. But if you can accept that what is, and that's all there's to it, because you have no control over it, then you will stop feeling so much pain. And I was feeling pain because I wasn't accepting who my father was. So now I accepted who he was, and I realized that the goal was to be straight with myself and to get myself secure. So once I knew that I could stand up for myself, or I could speak what it was that I was feeling and know that he didn't have to do anything about it, but I could speak for myself. That was my goal. And now I can accept who he is. And the hard feelings are like, they're, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I
So
was able to let go. So that was my goal.
So the process is going to be different for all of us.
Yes.
Shout out to the mirror. Shout out to the mirror. Reflection, 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 reflection. Taking time out to see where you not, to see who you not, to see what you not doing. When it's, you know, with all the forgiveness, it ain't even got nothing to do with nobody else. It still come back to self, still accountability.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm pushing too far ahead, but
no, you're good.
How I don't see no other alignment. And yes, I have to understand because shout out to Skywalker, he helped me understand something. Hey, you have to hold self accountable to you are here. Somebody could be here, here, but you are here. And since you're right here, this is the only space that you can operate in. So it just go back to accountability. Like regardless of the fact of what's going on, I get teased about saying peace, peace, peace. Peace is my trigger word to make sure I hold myself accountable and keep me in the right frame of mind or whoever I'm dealing with, and only to seek understanding in either what's being said, what's being told, or where it is that I'm supposed to receive a message of where I'm not at yet. I also explained recently I had a situation where someone called themselves snitching on me. And before I said, excuse me, man to man, can I talk to you? Before I knew it, I was already tapping their chest because I was heightened by the act thereof of how they was acting. And I felt like, oh, that ain't how men act. That ain't how men operate. So I got close enough to him to where I could tap his chest as if I'm finna inflict hurt, harm, or pain upon him, but beyond understanding that this can be resolved just in a simple conversation to seek understanding. And once I realized what I was doing, I stepped back, I dropped my hands in front of me. I'm like, that's peace. And I walked off. I was done talking. It was nothing else. It was nothing else to be said. Because at that particular point, it ain't got nothing to do with them. It's all about me. So even with dealing with the feelings and emotions that we get ourselves riled up, it's a mental play in our head. It ain't even got nothing to do with them. Whether you acknowledge them for who they are or who they not, I'm gonna say the greater challenge is to know who you are and who you not. Because once you get grips on that, can't nobody touch you. Can't nobody say nothing to you. Period. And that will be the goal. How do I get in front of me to control me, to keep me safe from harm of myself? I need to start there. I need to forgive me first. I shouldn't even allow that to still be a trigger within my mind. How is that still in my mind 40 years later, 20 years later? Like, how? Nah, nah. I'm doing myself an injustice. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's all good because I want to add to that. Or if it is a trigger, recognize that it is one and receive it as it is one because we are human. And if you get pissed off about shit, let yourself get pissed off, but then regulate how you react. But realize it is a trigger. It is what it is because we're human. We can't always be in our functional selves. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna put myself back on mute.
It's okay.
Let's address the question.
Hold on. Let me before. A lot of the triggers that you have is just negative feelings coming up to be acknowledged. You don't have to dwell on them. You just acknowledge that, okay, I feel this. And I've read the book that John sent me, Letting Go.
Letting Go.
You do not even have to give that feeling a name. All that stuff that because I say that to say this. I had a motto that I take a hit and keep on ticking. And once I start to slow down later on in life, all that shit that hit me back there came rushing back. Allow for it to come up, acknowledge that feeling, and let it go. You're making room for more positive feelings. You're making room for happiness, peace. Yeah,
Peace, yeah,
that's it.
peace.
Letting go about
Being able to
David
have
Hawkins.
true understanding.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
having
John, for
true
sending me
understanding.
that book. Man, that's
Yeah.
I
Come
told
on
you
now.
Understanding is a
about the
mother
soul
mother.
searching, and I think that's what we all talking about is doing some kind of soul searching. I think that's what we all have been basically saying is that we had to do some soul searching to get to the point
yes.
of forgiving our parents for not being such great parents. Definitely
That's it.
has to do some
That's
soul
it.
searching, and it goes
Shout
to
So
out,
what King was saying.
shout out to my auntie. Shout out to my grandma. Shout out to my great grandma. Because it wasn't an 8-track tape. It wasn't a VHS. It wasn't a DVD. There wasn't no book. There was no mastery class on how to raise me. Peace to all three of those women. Y'all did a great job. Thank you.
that's
That's
it.
what's up. That's peace.
Yeah,
That's
I think
it.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I overall, I will not say that I didn't come out to be an amazing woman. I'm not never going to take that from her, and I know a lot of those traits come from my mom. 'Cause I hear myself, I hear her in me all the time. So I'll never
My
take.
work ethic,
Yeah, definitely that.
my mama.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. So I think that we all have
Yeah.
taken some great things, but I think our coping
Yeah.
mechanisms we were failed there. Um, I think emotionally we were failed in some type of way. I know I was, and these are things that later on down the line really affect your adulthood. Like they really impact. There are so many people out here that have been impacted by the different things, emotional, the coping mechanisms. You got a lot of people that are alcoholics because they learned to cope by drinking or smoking cigarettes or some type of habit that you
Come
learn.
on, man.
I don't know how many times I've heard somebody say, let me smoke this cigarette before I slap the hell out you."
Come on, man.
So these are the things I think that we are forgiven. I think we kind of got off track because I'm thinking we kind of talking about like more physical abuse and anger and things like that. But I think a lot of us are upset because we did not have they did not set us up properly, but we didn't realize that they didn't have the tools themselves to set us up properly.
That's it.
Mm,
That
that
is
part.
it. That
That
is
part.
it.
That
So
part.
you think to
Eh,
yourself,
It is.
I wouldn't be going through all of this. I mean, this is in my early years. I wouldn't be going through all of this if I would have known better, if this would have happened or if that would have happened. But you don't realize that they didn't know any better either.
and that's the reason why we have to introspect ourselves and know who we are. So that way we can get to that space to recognize that. I didn't know that I didn't know that ADHD came with black or white thinking. And a lot of the ways that I was thinking about my parents is I put one on a pedestal and the other one had all the demons on their shoulder. You understand what I'm saying?
Ooh.
I didn't know that that was a part of what it was. Once I realized, I was like, oh, okay, I got to bring this into balance. I did not know that the person who I was, the things that were harmful, I was just using, like you said, I was using things to cope instead of having my emotions because I didn't know that I needed to nurture myself or be nurtured. So I was coping. I had to bring that into balance. But to bring that into balance, I had to do that introspective on myself first, recognize that I'm human, that I make lots of mistakes, and that I'm still loved with those mistakes in order to forgive my parents for being human themselves. And I want that to be known. My feelings are just my feelings, but they're not necessarily facts. It informs me that something needs to be done. And I just want to put that out there. And yes, somebody said I was not the best parent I could be because I was
Yeah.
parenting hurt and unhealed. As I conducted a self-examination of myself, I realized I owed my children an apology.
There you
And I
go.
gave it to them. You learn better, you do better, man. My parents
Man.
didn't have that knowledge. They didn't have that quote. They didn't
Yeah,
have that coming up.
and I
So
think that's where most of our parents were working from. And I keep talking about my mom, but I got to throw my dad in here too because that's why I'm so tough. I was whooping boys' ass, and he was sicking me on them. So I had to realize when he was raising me as his son, going fishing and hunting, and doing all these different things. I didn't realize until I got older and came back home that I'm not your boy. I'm not your son. I'm not, even though I make a great son, because I like doing those things. I had to forgive him too because I'm not your. And you have made me so tough and so rough that it's hard for people to even get through sometimes. Where I get mad at myself for being soft because I was treated as one of the boys. You better not cry. All the other girls crying. I better not. You better not shed a tear. So and that explains like that probably explains a lot to y'all right now.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
So,
your attitude. Yeah, personality.
So
Yeah, yeah. All right, what question we got up here? What are some introspective questions to ask oneself in order to forgive one's parents?
Now,
King
the
Newborn
reason
closing.
why the reason why this is so important. Forgiveness is an investigation. You have to investigate what is going on. So you got to have the right questions. You got to be a detective. You're trying to figure out, hey, what's the truth?
right.
So we have to ask the right questions. And so that's why this is important. I mean, the emotional part is going to come along with this as you're dealing with all the evidence, the information, and you're processing, you're dissecting, you're looking at it from a different point of view, and you working through all this information just so that you can solve the crime, the violation. So, questions. I want to just throw this one out, and then I want everybody else to, contribute something.
Okay.
Am I ready to forgive?
Yeah.
I think that is one of the most important questions of
Yeah.
all. Am I even ready? Because,
Yeah.
man, once I start, I got to finish this thing. It's a
Right.
commitment. So, am I ready? All right, there you go.
There you
Now,
go.
what are the questions? What are the questions that John Master Skywalker, the Sly Talker, would be asking? What are the introspections?
For
Okay,
real.
all right. All right, fair enough. All right, what does forgiveness look like for me? What specific actions or behaviors hurt me? This is about taking inventory, right? And this is very important because, and I highly recommend documenting. This is important because sometimes you carry this emotion around, right? And it's associated with these events, but the emotion takes more precedence than actually what
really?
happened.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's
Ooh.
more
Wow.
emotion. You get more feeling, more feeling. You can harbor more feelings, but you're not dealing with what actually happened. And so you might even forget what actually happened. And you're like, dang, I don't even know why I was so upset. I've been carrying this weight of emotion around for so long. I forgot.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's like
I
two
just know you
friends
hurt me.
who argue, fall out, leave one another, come back years later and be like, what was we fighting about? You just carry that pain with you. And then,
Right.
Aaron,
I was going to say we already know.
what was we fighting about? Yeah, we like, what was we fighting about? Girl, I don't even know.
And come back like
they come back like nothing ever happened.
It don't matter.
Be like, okay. Yeah.
So, next set of questions. How do these feelings that I'm harboring, carrying for years, how do these feelings serve me in my relationship with my parents? These feelings have a purpose. So, why do I have this anger? Why do I have this shame? Why do I have this hate? Why? Right? What expectations did I have of my parents?
That goes back to the beginning. Superhero.
What were my parents' intentions? Do I even know their intentions?
Right.
Like, dang, I know what happened to me, but do I actually know what they were trying to do? What their real will was? How has their upbringing shaped them? This is about exploring their own childhood experiences and understanding their background, right? So that you can foster some empathy.
You find out more. You start finding out things, and it starts giving you empathy because you start learning that some of their situations were worse than yours.
Oh man.
Yeah. Or finding out some of their secrets.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord, which
Mm.
informed a lot.
But they were
Mhm.
protecting us, and we didn't realize that they were protecting us from that, those secrets or their harms or their hurts or whatever. And maybe they were camouflaging them. I don't know.
Mm.
They were definitely camouflaging.
Yeah.
So they just reacted how we give people the love that we wish that we feel that we need, right? It's just a love languages thing, right? I mean, and like some people they give cuddles because they feel like they want physical touch as their love language. Some people do acts of service because they feel in return they want acts of service. So our parents gave us the love that they felt that they wanted in their life. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, your head got
No,
level because
that
you
was
just had
just
a thing.
Okay.
perfect.
Oh,
I don't even want to add to that. That was perfect. I just said that last week. I tried to become the parent that I needed growing up as a child, but I end up mixing the two. So
mm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right. So let's keep it rolling,
Right.
right? This one's a good one. Um, very important, and I'll tell you why. What did they get right in their parenting?
A lot.
Now, it's to soften the blow.
Right.
It's to bring a
Oh my
balance.
God.
It's to soften the blow. It is so much harder to forgive someone when you're still looking at what they
What
did
they did
wrong.
wrong.
Right.
If you
But
look
what they
at
doing right. Yeah.
if you look at what they did right, what you're doing is you're giving them some grace. So it
Mhm.
makes the process a lot easier. So now you're saying, you did this, and now when I look back, dang, you also did that. All right, all right.
I thank you,
So
John, for that question because that was just a whole release for me because I feel that I turned out to be an amazing, beautiful person.
Yeah.
And that just let me know exactly what she did right
mhm. All right.
overall.
Let me add to that too. I once again, I know I've talked a lot about my relationship with my dad. When I started with the goal, knowing that I had to let go of these resentments, I knew I was going to have to forgive. Right? I knew I was going to have to forgive and accept. So I have a practice where I write 10 things every morning that I'm grateful for, and it actually
Mm,
puts my mind into a state of gratefulness.
gratitude.
I
Yeah.
started adding my father to that list. What am I grateful to him for today? He took me and raised me. I wasn't his kid. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He wasn't capable of showing love, but he tried. He tried
Mm,
his best. He really did. He tried through adversities from everybody else. He felt that he gave me he gave I was in the church, so he gave me a spiritual foundation. He did that well. You know what I'm saying? He took me to the dentist every year. That was his thing, taking his kids to the dentist, like, every
You
six
probably
months.
never
He
had.
was Yeah, man, exactly. He was really, really stringent about that. And it set me up to just realize that he did things right. He did, and I realized that he did things right. And I realized that my feelings meant that I needed to act on something for myself.
mm,
And being able to forgive him in that, which is have that conversation and speak my mind and speak my piece, but realize that he is human and that he did what he thought that he could do. He did the best out of his experience. So I want to make sure that I add that out there too, because I love the dude. I don't like him all the time, but you're not supposed to like a person all the time.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? My kids don't like me sometimes, and I'm just like, all right, I
Mhm.
love you though.
right. Mm,
Yeah.
All right.
okay.
What lessons can I learn from their mistakes? What lessons can I learn from their mistakes? Using their actions as lessons for your own growth so that you can break the cycle. Right? What boundaries do I need to set? That is a very important one because you have two options. You can just say, all right, I forgive them and then not interact, or perhaps you want to continue an interaction and forgiveness is a vehicle for healing, right? You need to set those boundaries, right? So that's something to consider right there. And then lastly, consider your legacy, right?
Yeah.
Is your resentment towards your parents something that you want to be remembered for? Do you want them to say that at your wake? Because in some ways it will show up.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh, that is rough. That's a lot.
Mm.
That is a lot.
Mm.
All right.
Mm.
I got
Mm.
one. I
Mm.
got one more.
Let's bring this up from Miss Nikki Pratt.
Oh, let's see. Oh.
Man,
Mm.
do you embrace them as they become seniors? Or is it okay to not even to go the extra mile for those neglectful parents? Or do you have to forgive and become a caregiver if needed? If you weren't responsible for me, why do I have to be responsible for you? I forgive you. I just don't want to be a responsible daughter that's needed that way.
Okay.
Um,
That could be acceptable.
Nikki,
That could be acceptable.
we gonna have to talk, honey.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I want to hold that.
Yeah.
I don't want to carry that. I
Oh,
don't know if I want to carry that over because I may feel some resentment towards myself, and I don't think I want to hold those negative. And I don't know. To each his own. Everybody deals with it different. But do you want to on down the line have to forgive yourself for the treatment that you gave to them?
man.
are you willing to accept that you might have to forgive
That part.
yourself for
Right.
the treatment that you gave?
Yeah.
Because if you're
Man.
not right with it, I
Right.
mean, do you, Batman? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That's the real question. The real question is, can you accept whatever your actions are?
Right.
Ooh, you don't want that on
You
your
know?
conscience, honey.
Be
Sorry.
careful because you may say yeah today out of whatever feelings that you have, and tomorrow may be a different story. So that would be something I'd be real careful with.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think have all the emotions about it, and then once you have all the emotions about it and you feel it, it'll inform you exactly what needs to happen or what actions you're to take. You know,
Right.
I mean, because some people are like, my grandmother lived to be 104 years old, right? My grandma, my grandma in Georgia, they used to call her white woman because she was, and I'm just putting that out there because she thought she was better than a lot of people, and she held herself in a certain way. I'm sorry, Aaron. I know that but I'm just telling you,
Girl,
I'm just being
you know I
honest.
don't care nothing about that.
I'm just being honest. Right? I'm just being
That
honest.
is not derogatory towards me. I understand. Definitely,
Okay,
definitely
I
understand.
my grandma was a piece of work. She was, and my aunties, because my mom is not living here on this earth anymore, they were like, we got to take care of her, right? And at the end, you know what I'm saying? My aunts made some decisions. I honestly, I believe that they were at peace with it. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's what are you at peace with? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, are you willing to be abused, or are you willing to be okay with being abused because you knew that your parent was in a place surrounded by people who loved her? That's the question. What can you handle?
Right.
Mm.
Little steps for forgiving your parents.
Yep. Last question of the show.
Oh, we made it this time.
Yeah.
We made it. Usually we be having questions we don't answer because we get stuck on some stuff. We get stuck on
We
some
be
stuff.
talking.
But we made it. Who want
All
to go
right.
first? I've been listening. This is
Acceptance.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
Empathy. Empathy.
Mm.
Acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acceptance.
And
Empathy.
Practice empathy. Okay.
Yeah.
you. Okay.
What else we got?
Love, compassion,
Yeah.
Mm.
understanding who you are as a person.
stepping back
There
and
you
looking at
go.
the
Because
bigger picture.
it comes back to you all the time. Like King said, it definitely comes
King
back.
Newborn said it.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot
What
of
else we
times you
got?
can't forgive others
Yeah.
if you
I
don't
mean,
forgive
you know
yourself.
that? Do you really want to continue to carry that pain around with you?
Mm.
Because they're not going to be here every day. They're going to
Right.
go. They're going to eventually. And don't wait until they're already gone to try to forgive them for what they have done. Please don't do that to yourself, because that's a different type of pain that you're
Right.
trading.
And
Right. And then
That's
sometimes
facts.
they don't realize that there was anything wrong. We can
Right.
Mm.
blame them for a lot of stuff, but they don't do not realize what it's all about the perception. They perceive that they did the best they can. I perceive that no the fuck you didn't. And that's all it
Right.
is. It's just two different thoughts or two different perceptions. On my end,
Right.
I felt like you did this, this, that, and the third. On their end, they said, no, I kept a roof over your head. You had clothes on your back. You had shoes on your feet. You had food in your stomach. And that's enough. You should be
That's
happy with
facts.
that. My end, I was like, you should have did this. You should have did that. You should have been here. You should have been there. And they looking at me like, how the fuck I'm supposed to do all that and feed your ass too?
They had you from 1 to 18.
Yeah,
18 and up, it's on you.
right. And then go to realistic. Be realistic with what your expect. Some of our expectations of our parents were very unrealistic. We did expect them to be superheroes, and that's not real.
We did expect to get what we asked for.
Yeah,
Can we
we
say that?
expect
Can
for
we
you
say
to
that?
work 16-hour shifts and still be able to show up at my meetings at school, or show up at this practice, or show up at that, or just be not be so fucking mean. But I've worked 16-hour shifts and realized I can't be nothing but mean
You
after
know,
16 hours.
after working a 16-hour shift, I will come home, park in the driveway, and I will sit there for a minute until I didn't want to carry that in the house with me. And my oldest daughter, she will wait. She will give me a minute before coming out to help me with my bags. Yeah, that was my baby. Go ahead. Go ahead, Master.
All right. So in summary, let's fire them off. Acknowledge your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Reflect on the past.
There you go.
Decide on your goals of forgiveness. Consider your parents' perspective. Set some boundaries. Express your feelings. Practice empathy. Let go of the resentment.
Mm-hmm.
Seek some support. You know, a
Yes.
counselor, therapist, right? Seek some support, a coach.
Let go of
Practice self.
expectations.
Let go of expectations. Practice self-care.
Yes.
And be patient and respect your process.
There
Be
you go.
patient and respect your process.
I say.
I just can I.
Go
Look at your
ahead.
little finger there.
Oh, okay,
Go ahead.
cool.
Let me sage him real quick.
Yeah, do that.
Let me
I just
sage
want to
this
say,
old.
you grown.
Oh,
You grown. You grown. The only person that's carrying around his memory is self. If
what
you
did he
keep
say?
replaying that, you're grown. You're an adult. You're an adult. You're an adult. Like Miss Tanner said, after 18, you're responsible for everything else. Matter of fact, some of y'all
Really?
hit a level of maturity and understanding before 18, but you continue to replay certain things in your head over and 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 over, and use that as an excuse to keep you from progressing in life. You can't retake the test. You can't restudy for the exam. That part of your life, that's over with. You got to move forward. And the best way to move forward is to understand I don't want to emulate whatever I felt like was the wrong way to go about doing anything. I got to let that go. I got to let that go. Because I never know how this table may turn to where I feel like I don't need my parents no more, but one day my parents might need me.
Me.
Mm,
Yep.
mm.
Well, if you got that phone call, hey, yo, check it out. Can we get one of them kidneys? What you gonna say? Nah, cause you beat me. You gotta let man. Some of that stuff, we grown now. I can't go back and undo. They can't go back and undo. I can't retake this test. All that. Like I gotta deal. I gotta look in this mirror, deal with this feeling that I'm having, and make peace with that. So I can look them in the eye and say, you know what? When it's all said and done, I love you, and I appreciate you not giving up on me, regardless of the fact what you did know, didn't know. Hey, you stuck around, you hung in there, and here I am.
Yeah,
It's a
Here I
process.
am.
it
Yeah,
is.
here I am. I don't know
Yeah.
what you went through. I don't know how many demons you fought within yourself to raise me.
Right.
I don't know how many hustles you had to go through. I don't know how many women or men you had to deal. I don't know what you went through. I don't know, but I'm here, and for that I appreciate it. Whether this was a planned pregnancy or not, I am here. I get to
Birthday
experience
sex.
this walk, this journey. I get to experience it.
Yeah. I was birthday sex.
I didn't even want to.
No, it's
Uh,
okay. Whether you said whether it was planned or unplanned, I had to throw something funny
yeah,
up in there.
So
May, June,
appreciation
July, August,
definitely.
September.
and
Yeah,
that's peace. And that's
that was one of
peace.
my. Oh,
That's
that
peace.
was one of the hamsters that got loud. I'm
That was
sorry.
peace. That was
I be
peace.
trying to deny my ADHD.
All right, all
Girl,
right,
Get
all
better
back
take
right.
them
in there.
hamsters.
They know.
So it goes to appreciation too,
Mm.
because we
Man, I
gotta
love it.
appreciate, like you said, the things that they did do. Well, like John said, what did they do right? Show some
Give
What
some
did they
appreciation
do
gratitude.
for
Exactly.
right?
that.
They had
Give some,
me.
give some gratitude.
They
Right.
had
They
me.
gave you life. They gave you the
They gave
opportunity
me
to
life.
experience, this journey,
They had
all
me.
of it, man.
And my father had you and Danielle. I have two sets of siblings. I love it.
Yeah, it's peace, man.
And man, it
Man,
is.
let's enjoy this journey, man. Let's enjoy this journey. Let's take back our community. Let's continue to give back to the community and help them understand, hey, we can get through this together as
Together.
a
Yes.
Yeah.
unit. We can get together. We can get together. We got some of these egos we have and self-centeredness and man, let this
Selfishness and
man, let that go.
anger.
Let that go. Let it go, man.
A lot of
Law
anger.
of attraction is real.
Yeah.
The longer you
It
harbor
is.
something, the more you're gonna attract it to you. You gotta let that
The more
shit
you pay
go.
attention, the more you pay attention to it, the more it's going to manifest itself.
Hmm.
So,
Man, easily. You showing
yep,
more and more how much power you really got by
that's
staying
it.
focused on it. That's the only thing you're gonna be able to see.
Or,
The
or show,
negative and the bullshit and everything. We gotta let that shit go, man. We gotta move
show that
forward.
something else. So that
Yeah,
something else
it's
has power
something
over
else.
you.
Exactly. We missing out on opportunities to continue to keep coming together, young and old
Mm.
and young. We missing out on great opportunities, man. Matter of fact, it's some information that's being lost along the way. Half of us, including myself, never experienced the rite of passage. So come on, man. We got to put some of this stuff to bed. I'm grown now. What I miss out on? What was something that you really want to tell me as a parent to a child? What you want to help me understand? What I miss out on? It's probably some moments in your life you don't even remember you doing certain things as a child, but your
Right.
parents do. Yeah, we got to come together. I'm sorry, I'm done. That's all I had to say. We got to come together. Peace, love, and light from King Newborn. We got to come together, man. Unity is
Mm,
real.
mm,
It's
mm.
2024, man. We got to, hey, we grown. Let's start acting like it. We adults. Let's start acting like it. Let's come together, y'all. Let's heal together. Embrace each other. Let's
That's
heal
what I like
Together.
about this
together.
podcast. Is because
That's
it's
what this
healing the
podcast is all about.
right.
What is it
It's a
about?
healing
What is it about?
experience.
What's the name of the podcast? What's the slogan?
Things that people don't want to talk about.
Giving back
Miss
that which has
Tanner,
been
what's your
lost.
what's the
Hey.
what you, say it again, Miss Tanner?
Giving back that which has been lost.
Mm.
Man, unity, love, respect, honor. Come on, man. We bought solutions over here, and it's still a
Right.
safe place for anybody to let go of anything they feel like they ain't got nobody to turn to and talk to. You can come right here. We can talk about it. Yeah, it's live, but this is a safe place. You can let that out. You can get that off your chest. You can express that. But then after we do that,
Mhm.
let's get back to love. Let's get back
Love.
to unity. Let's get back to honor. Let's get back to respect. Come on, man. We got to, hey, look, if we all stand together, we can all
Oh.
grow together.
Nikki, I don't know if you're at work tomorrow, but if you do, make sure you pull me to the side and we can have a private conversation, love.
That's peace.
Okay. I want to thank everyone for coming in tonight on tonight's podcast, for giving your parents. Shout out to Master John Skywalker for the questions, Keaton Newborn for his his beautiful input, Ivy Tanner and her hamsters always coming through, and AP gonna make you think. Before we go, and I'm about to get sad on you all. I am so sorry. Before we go, I just
Shout out
want to
to the
say
community.
shout out to the community, and also my condolences to the two girls who basically gave up their lives Friday in a fight that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
It made national news. One girl is in custody and the other girl is in critical condition fighting for her life over nothing. That right there, it has to stop. Now, 2 families have been affected. The girl that's in critical condition has a long road to recovery. We're talking about a traumatic brain injury. And the girl who is in custody right now, you might as well say you spent your last night at home for a very, very, very long time.
We
And to
gotta
the
take our
adults,
community back.
I'm sorry, and to the adults that sat back and watched it, you ought to be ashamed. We need to do better. We need to do better. It ain't a black or a white thing for me. That's somebody's child. Because if it was yours, you probably snap off. And we're going to end it on that note. Peace, love, and light. John, you got me?